Congressman Jason Chaffetz of Utah is joining us. He's chairman of the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security. Congressman, what is going on here?
I got deep concerns that the president is not as safe as we want and need him to be. I've got questions about leadership, about protocol, and about the training at the Secret Service.
Where's your question of leadership, for example?
Well, these incidents seem to be getting worse, not better. And there are lots of redundancies, rings of security around the president and specifically around the White House. But to have such an epic failure from top to bottom really begs the question, why did they decrease the number of trainings that were going on at the same time that the House was actually appropriating even more money? Why did those trainings come down? What is the protocol? Why is it that the Secret Service, they issue a statement and said that the intruder, the guy who hopped the fence, had no weapon. Ends up he did have a weapon. Why is it that they said he stopped at the door, but our whistleblowers are telling us he went much further into the White House? Why is it that they brag about, I say brag, but they tout the idea that there is tremendous restraint by these officers? I want to see overwhelming force repel anybody who's trying to get into the White House. I don't think that's good leadership from my opinion.
Because what's shocking to me is I spent almost 8 years covering the White House, going there almost every day during the Clinton administration. But there were always fence jumpers. They jump over the fence. They run on the lawn. The dogs come. They arrest them, and that's that. But someone actually got through the lawn, ran all the way to the front door, the north side of the White House. The door was unlocked, got inside, and originally we thought that person was stopped right inside. But what you're saying, based on what you're hearing, that person not only ran through the White House, got into the East Room of the White House where the president hosts state dinners.
And to the doorway to the Green Room. And so the question is, well, there's an audible alarm that's supposed to be there. One of our whistleblowers has indicated that the audible alarm had been muted because the ushers thought it was disruptive and made noises. And so it begs the question of leadership. Are we going to put security at the top and at the number one issue, or are there going to be some other political considerations like making sure it doesn't get too noisy on the first floor there?
I'm still confused. What are the rules of engagement? When can a Secret Service officer, either uniformed or not uniformed, actually use force? They're all armed, basically. When can they shoot an intruder?
Well, again, when the Secret Service puts out a statement saying that the officers showed tremendous restraint, I got a problem with that. I don't want tremendous restraint. Safety and security of the president, the first family, is priority number one, and securing the White House. You don't know what this person has underneath them. In this day of ISIS and ISIL and terrorists and all this, you don't know if the person has an improvised explosive device, maybe a dirty bomb, some other thing. What if there were 12 people that came over the fence? Then what would they have done? I want to see overwhelming force deter somebody. And when you have a situation where you have the apparent lack of security, you're unfortunately going to invite more attacks, and that's the concern.
Is it true that the threats against this president, President Obama, they're much more than previous presidents?
Unfortunately, I think that is true, and I've got to see some more solid stats. But the world situation, the historic nature of this president, he's under constant attack. There's a reason why we have such an elaborate security force surrounding the president and the first family. Great men and women who serve there, but they can never, ever, ever make a mistake, ever. You just can't happen.
The Secret Service says they're not providing all this information because there's an ongoing investigation, and as a result, they'll share the information down the road. Are they sharing the information with Congress, with you?
Well, we're going to have a hearing tomorrow, and I appreciate the director coming and answering these questions in the light of day. Just because something's embarrassing doesn't mean that it's classified. And so it'll be interesting to see the mix. I don't want to hear the director continue to say, well, that's classified, it's classified, it's classified. In the United States of America, we are self-critical. This is how we make things better, and this is why Congress needs to get involved.
And if you don't learn from mistakes, you're bound to repeat those mistakes.
Exactly.
You got to learn the important lesson. Do you have confidence in the relatively new Secret Service Director, Julia Pearson?
I got real questions for her. I know the president has expressed great confidence in the Secret Service, but I have some serious questions. Great men and women, but I question their training, I question the protocol, and I question the leadership.
But she's got a lot of experience there, but you think she comes from, what, the same culture? Is that the problem? And she really hasn't made many changes that you want to see? Is that what you're saying?
Long term, I think we need to evaluate after 9/11, when they moved Secret Service out of Treasury, put it into Homeland Security, made the director a Senate-confirmed position. Did that become too political? That's a long-term question. We won't answer that tomorrow. But a real question about the structure and how they make these decisions, the protocol. I'd like to see more force, lethal force if necessary. If you can't put a dog or a person in between an intruder into the White House, then I'd like to see lethal force. You just cannot let somebody get into the White House.